Salut le peuple! Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys like my new intro. You know, it was my birthday, so I'm trying to, change things around here. So if you don't know me, my name's Hermantha. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you like my video. If you do, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and if you're already part of the family, then you know what it is. Today's video is going to be me sharing with you this near-death experience that I had. I think this is my favorite testimony to share, not only because it's one of the easiest ones for me to share and the one I'm more comfortable sharing as of right now, but also because it really changed my whole outlook on life and the way I live my life. This experience really changed me, so I thought it would be a really interesting thing to share with you guys. So I'm supposed to be posting this today for the 10th, but I turned 23 10 days ago, so every time it's my birthday I just feel so grateful to be here. So I thought, why not share with you guys this very, very special and scary part of my life. So before I start, this is not my first encounter where I could have died already. I have two other instances that are not as bad as this one, but the first time was after I had surgery in grade 4 for sleep apnea. That basically means that I stopped breathing while I was sleeping, so I got surgery to fix that. After surgery, something was kind of off with my avec mon rythme cardiaque. It kept dropping and dropping. I was getting really worried. I was trying to wake up my mom. She wasn't waking up. I was pushing the button to call the nurse. No one was coming, and I was starting to feel weak and sleepy. So right before I fell asleep, or I don't even know what it was, if it was me sleeping or passing out, I don't know. But right before I fell asleep, I did a quick prayer and I asked God, I don't know what it means if I go all the way down to 0, but I'm not trying to go all the way down to 0. So I pray that I'm able to wake up and that when I do, everything's fine. And thank you, Jesus, I did wake up and everything was completely fine. The second time was in 10th grade. My class was going on a field trip out of the country and I couldn't go, so I decided to volunteer at my mom's school. And while I was walking to the school, I was crossing the street. I looked both ways and it was this big boulevard. So I crossed the first half of the boulevard. I was okay. The cars were waiting for me, and when I was crossing the second part of the boulevard, I got hit by a car. It was an old lady driving, and she claimed that she didn't see me. She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there." And I'm just like, if you can't see me, why are you driving? Anyways, it was really scary. I got hit at my right hip. It hurt, but it was nothing too serious. I got a bruise. Thank God the car did not go faster, because I think that the damage would have been more extensive than it was. I just rushed through these two past events just to show you that this wasn't the first time that I was in a scary situation that I could have died. This experience is by far the scariest thing I have lived. This was back in December 6, 2014, if I'm not mistaken. I was a senior, and my church's praise and worship team would go down to Montreal for some praise and worship conference. So we go to the conference, everything was good, and we stop for food and we go back home to Ottawa. Usually we pray, but from what I remember, we did not pray that day before hitting the road to go back to Ottawa. We're almost in Ottawa and I randomly wake up and I'm like, oh my God, we didn't pray. Whenever I get in a car, I really want to pray to make sure that we get to the destination safely. So I do a quick prayer. I'm like, Seigneur Jésus, on n'a pas prié, mais Seigneur Jésus, on est presque arrivé à la maison. Fait qu'on puisse arriver à la maison en sécurité et qu'il n'y a rien qui se passe. Au nom de Jésus, Amen. I go back to sleep. I woke up to the car swerving left and right. I was in the middle. It was a van, so there's the 2 passengers, 3 passengers. I was in the middle of the middle, and I didn't have a seatbelt. I was in the center and I was putting my arms over my head because the 2 people beside me were moving as well and kind of going on me, so I wanted to protect myself, and I was doing like this. Cars moving left and right, people are yelling, and in that moment I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a seatbelt. If the car turns over. Like, if the car flips, I'm dead. In that moment, I was so scared. I was a senior. I had plans to go to university. I didn't even have a boyfriend yet. Like, I was like, I did not even live yet. And in that moment, thinking that I could die was very scary. Weird thing is that I was so calm because at that very moment I noticed that there was nothing I could do but wait. Je sentais tellement impuissante de voir que je pouvais rien faire, and I just had to wait and see if the car would flip and I would die, or if I would make it. We were on the express lane of the highway and the car swerved all the way to the other side. Where if you want to get into the highway, that's where you merge. The car was totaled. It was very bad. There was cars that had stopped and people rushed to the car. They opened the door. As they were trying to get to the other people in the car, they had to move me to another car until the first responders would come. I remember telling them that my leg really hurt and I couldn't stand on my leg. I put my arms and they just like lifted me up to their car. In that moment, I felt so much pain. Genre, ça faisait tellement mal. I was the first one to go into an ambulance. I was put on a gurney, and in the ambulance,
my camera stopped recording, but in the ambulance they told me that I was very much lucky to be alive and that the accident could have killed me.
All I could think in that moment was Nicki Minaj lyrics, and I told him, no, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. Yes. So stupid, but anyways. Turns out that I had a fractured pelvis. I'll put the picture right here. And they couldn't do anything for me, so the doctor told me that I had to be on bed rest for a month. Turns out that I actually ended up being on bed rest for a month and a half. For the first 3 weeks, I could not shower. I was unable to get up. Like, just sitting down obviously was very painful. I'm about to go into detail here, so if you don't like talking about pee and all of that, you might want to skip this part. My family literally had to bring a bucket to me and help me pee. I couldn't laugh, I could not cough, I could not sneeze. Anything that involved my abdominal muscles would cause me excruciating pain. I was never a cocky person, but it was humbling because, you know, I was a 17-year-old, you know, trying to be all cute, high school, and like I had my sister's best friend, or my mom taking care of me, seeing my private parts, helping me pee. Like, I needed help because I literally couldn't do anything on my own. 3 weeks later, I was able to shower. I was strong enough to go to the washroom. I still couldn't walk. They put me on my grandma's stroller and they pushed me all the way to the washroom. My mom had to bathe me. I would sit on a chair in the tub and she would bathe me like she used to bathe me when I used to be a kid. I couldn't do anything. I was in so much pain. I couldn't walk. So after that month and a half, I went to physical therapy where I had to walk all over again. I just wanted to share this with you because it really changed my perspective on the way I see life. I used to take all these little things for granted, but I just want to tell you that if you're able to walk, it's a blessing. If you can laugh, if you can cry, if you can cough, if you can sneeze, it's a blessing, because there was a point in time where I couldn't do all these things without being in pain. Just taking a shower, I would take that for granted. I could not take a shower unless someone would bathe me. As someone who likes to look cute and put together all the time, not being able to shower for 3 weeks was extremely difficult. Because of this event, I am just so thankful that God decided to spare my life. I could not even imagine what would have happened if the car had flipped. I honestly don't think I would be here today, and thinking of that is just so scary because I was this close. Oof. Because I was this close to dying, and if it wasn't for God, you guys wouldn't be watching. I thought it would be a good idea for me to do this around my birthday because I turned 23, and to think that I could have died at 17 is crazy, and I give all the glory and all the praise to God because he allowed me to still be here. So this is just me sharing part of a very traumatic event. I kind of lost flexibility ever since the accident. Even though I did physical therapy, sometimes I still feel pain, but I'm able to walk, I can run, I can dance. Sometimes when I walk, I feel kind of weird. I feel like I don't walk the same way I used to walk before, but I can still walk, and that's a blessing. I already got hit by a car, and that really scared me, but once I got into that accident, it really traumatized me, which is why I do suffer from PTSD, which is why I do not have my driver's license. I do not drive till this day. Sometimes I have panic attacks when I get in cars. Winter is an extremely difficult time for me because every time the car just moves a little bit, it brings me back to December 6th. But I made a promise that I would get my license by the end of this year, and by God's grace I will do it. All to say that I'm very, very grateful to be here today, and I just hope that wherever you are in life, that you're grateful for all the single things that you have, to just find joy in the small things. All these little things are stuff that we tend to take for granted because we think that it's normal. I 110% believe that if it wasn't for God, I would not be here today. I don't really know how to end this video, TBH. I just felt like sharing this since it was my birthday not too long ago. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next video. That's gonna be a more happier, less dramatic video, if you will. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching once again, and see you next time.